Today's video is my 3 one-pot meals for under £15 from Aldi. These are 3 of my favourite one-pan meals. Cook everything in the same pan, and they're all for under £15 on a budget. So as the video goes on, I'm going to talk you through how to make each meal, but I'm also going to list out the ingredients. If you are new, by the way, this channel is all about creating affordable, budget, healthy, nutritious and delicious recipes. I often shop at Aldi. I do top-up shops elsewhere, but generally I'm on a strict budget. But I also like to make good, delicious food. And one-pan meals are some of my favourites. So I think one-pan meals is going to become a regular feature on this channel because I've realised I make a lot of my meals in one pan. Quite often throughout the video I'd be using this. I thought I'd mention it at the start of the video because I get lots and lots of questions. I bought this from Aldi a couple of years ago now. One of those amazing investments that you are so glad you made. I will link some down below if Aldi aren't selling them right now, but they are cast iron shallow round pans. They're fantastic because you can use them on the hob, so you can fry food with them, and you can put them straight in the oven. The lid goes in the oven. So these are fantastic if you want to get more into cooking one pan meals. I highly recommend them. So I'm going to link some of my recommended ones down below. One pan meals are great for reducing food waste. If you didn't know, I'm currently helping a team of very intelligent people work on a saving food from being wasted app. So this app is called Yummonom. It's been so helpful to so many of you, and I haven't mentioned them in a while because I've been so busy, but actually it's a fantastic app, and I have given anyone who signs up through my code lifetime 50% off. So I've left the links below, but if you want to know what it does, essentially log in and use the app to reduce your food waste. So enter things that you see right in front of you in your fridge, and it's going to create you your own recipe using those things. So quite often I'm staring at my fridge like, oh my gosh, what do I actually make? I've got such random bits and bobs of food. But if you type some of that stuff in, it's going to see what it can make you that will turn out delicious. It gives you optional extras. And you can do vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free. So it's a fantastic app. Again, saves you a lot of money, especially when it comes to food shopping, because quite often you'll go food shopping, forget there's things in your fridge and freezer and things like that that can already make you a meal, and then you end up buying things from the shop you sort of didn't need. So it's a fantastic app. If you did want lifetime half price, then make sure you sign up through my link down below. Anyway, enough rambling, grab your cup of teas and let's get into today's video. Okay, arguably one of our most made dinners is this one pan spicy sriracha chicken and rice. It can easily feed 4 to 6 people. So the first thing you're going to do is marinate your chicken. If you can do this an hour before, that's fantastic. The spices I'm using are smoked paprika, a few chipotle chili flakes, and a bit of cayenne pepper. I'm also going to be using garlic and sriracha sauce. So I coat the dry rubs into the chicken first with the olive oil, and I'm going to just leave that on its own and then put a big splodge of sriracha sauce on the chicken. Make sure it's completely coated and then leave aside whilst you get the rest of your bits ready. You're going to oven cook this for the start with your onions. So chop up your onions. I normally slice and dice them, and what I usually do is sit the chicken on top of the onion and the garlic cloves in the oven, just so the onion doesn't char too much. So move your chicken aside and place your onions at the bottom of the dish and put your spicy marinated chicken on top of the onion and garlic. So you're going to cook that in the oven initially for about 10 minutes before checking. I always cook it on around 180 to 200. The next thing I'm going to do is start grating my carrots, because the grated carrot can go into this dish as well in the oven after about 10 minutes. Okay, now I'm going to make my rice. I always talk about my rice, and lots of you, in fact, I probably get at least one message a day asking how to cook rice. So I'm going to keep it super duper simple. This is my rice. 1 small cup of white washed rice, so make sure it's rinsed first. Using that same cup, measure 2 cups of water, and you're going to put that in a large Pyrex dish. You're going to cover the Pyrex dish with a microwavable plate, and also I just put it on top of another plate, and then you're going to microwave that for 20 minutes. I just have a bog standard microwave, and that's all I do. I do add some salt into the rice as well. You're going to microwave that for exactly 20 minutes. When the rice is finished, take it out, stir a knob of butter in the rice, and it should be perfect. Anyway, so after 10 minutes, I just check the temperature of the chicken, the sriracha chicken, top it up with a bit of sriracha sauce, and then I'm going in with my grated carrots, and stir that all around, and then it's going to go back in the oven until the chicken is cooked. The great thing about chicken thighs is the more you cook them, well, as long as you don't overcook them, but the longer you cook them, the more tender they tend to go. Chicken thigh fillets are so much better money-wise, but also they're just so much better than chicken breasts. So I always use chicken thigh fillets. Anyway, I've added my carrots and cooked the carrots with the chicken until the chicken is fully cooked. Next thing you're going to do is put the whole dish on the hob. You're going to top it up with olive oil if it needs it. You're going to chuck in your frozen peas and chuck in to the pan your cooked rice. Top it up with sriracha sauce, maybe a little bit of salt if you need it, I doubt though, and keep stirring it. I do have the hob on number 1 just to keep it nice and warm, but you don't need to pre-cook the peas or anything, you just need to throw them in and they cook within the dish. Make sure the chicken has been cut up into chunks, and voila! One of our favourite dishes, full to the brim of flavour, so delicious, so easy to make, and yeah, it's got a few veggies in there, so nutritious and delicious, I'd say. Okay, the next up I'm making nutritious and delicious spaghetti hoops. So we all had, well, I did growing up, spaghetti hoops from a tin was like one of our sort of weekly meals on toast. But yeah, anyway, so I've made a recipe where I've incorporated loads and loads of hidden veg or extra veg, let's say, within the sauce, and yeah, they're delicious. They're very substantial, by the way, much more substantial than the things you get in a tin, so I tend to actually have these on their own. So the first thing you want to do is make your veggie stock. You can use a number of veggies in this. I tend to always go for the same. I always go for carrots, onions, mushrooms, celery. I normally go for celery, but I didn't actually have any today. And courgette if you have it. The first thing I'm going to do is peel the onions, peel the carrots, and chop everything up into rough chunks. As you can see, I'm like dropping all of my veg here. But throw it into your pan with some, I use Himalayan sea salt and some hot water from the kettle. You want to add enough water that it's pretty much covering all so I'm going to add in a load of mixed herbs and I'm going to bring to the boil. So you're going to boil all the vegetables until they're nice and soft. So it takes a little while, but you can put the lid on and just leave it do its thing for a while. I then use a hand blender. So I've linked the hand blender that I recently bought from Amazon. It was nice and cheap and it does the job, so I've got no complaints here. But I blend all of the veggies first and then go in and add your plum tomatoes. Add some hot water if you feel like it's way too thick. Just keep adding hot water. Just, you know the consistency you like. I know the consistency I like, so add hot water or don't add it depending on what you want. Throw in your plum tomatoes, cook them for a while and then blend them as well. And after everything is blended, I then go in and add my crushed garlic just because I like it as pungent as possible. So yeah, add your crushed garlic. And here you actually have the most stunning pasta sauce or pasta base. So even if you don't want to use these SpaghettiOs, you can use any different type of pasta, add in some cheese, mozzarella, anything you want, and you've got a great pasta dish. But for the fun effect, we're going to add these pasta shapes, which look like spaghetti hoops. You can get these on Ocado, by the way. It's the only sort of place I found them, and they're on offer. So yeah, add those in, and they're going to cook in the sauce. These are very, very dense and they do take a long time to cook, not just like 10 minutes. It's a slow, low cooking process, this is. So keep taste testing just until you've worked out that they're cooked. I always add a handful of grated Parmesan into this. That really does make this dish what it is, because the Parmesan is nice and tangy and salty. It takes away from all the sweetness of the carrots, but in a really good way. So add in your Parmesan. You can also add in a little bit of creme fraiche or double cream, just to give that nice creamy pasta sauce taste and texture. I really feel like texture is very important when it comes to eating. And here you are. You can eat them how they are. I'll be honest, because it's such a substantial pasta dish, having this on toast would just not be possible for me. It'd be way too filling. So I just have a bowl of them how they are. They are comforting, warming and homely feeling, and they're just delicious. But also at the end of the day, after they'd cooled down, you can see here I'm just freezing 2 tubs of them. And yeah, just great to whack out of the freezer and warm up in a saucepan for a dinner or lunch one day. Okay, the next up, I'm making creamy mascarpone tuna pasta. I love this hot or cold. I prefer it cold, I have to say. I actually prefer it the next day out of the fridge. It's so delicious. So yeah, this is a really yummy pasta dish. Really super duper cheap to make, and my toddler loves this as well, which is great. So first thing, as always, we're going to prepare the veggies. So the veggies I'm using are tomatoes and onions. So slice up your onions, and you're going to halve all of your baby plum tomatoes. So fry the onions in a little bit of olive oil. Also get some veggie stock ready, because the veggie stock is water is what we're going to cook the pasta in. But I'm going to slowly fry the onions until they're nice and soft, and half of the tomatoes. So the tomatoes that you cut up, you just want to grab a handful of them and throw them in with the cooking onions. I just let them fry for a little bit until they start popping, sort of thing. And making sure all the onion and tomato is nice and soft. Once that's happened, you can add in your 1 litre of veggie stock and your pasta. And then your pasta is going to cook nicely in the pan. Now you can close the lid, or you can leave the lid open. I do a bit of both, so I close the lid for a little bit just to make sure it's really heating up, and then I cook the pasta with the lid open. That's going to really reduce the amount of water in the pan as well. So the pasta is cooking really nicely here. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to add some lemon juice. I'm going to add my capers, which are completely optional, but they are just a nice little salty addition. I actually had those in the fridge for so long and I didn't know what to do with them, and I've realised they go really well with like a tuna pasta dinner. So I've added my capers, which gives it a nice salty kick. And then I'm going to add the rest of my tomatoes in. As you can see, the other tomatoes have really cooked down to nothing. So we've got some tomatoes with a bit more texture in there. Then you're going to add half your pot of mascarpone. You can add some more mascarpone if you like, but I feel like half does the job here. And you're going to add your tin of tuna in. I just add half at a time. Stir it through, see how we're doing texture wise, and then add the other half of the tin of tuna. So grated cheese goes really, really well in this as well. I just added a bit of mature cheddar that was left over from Oren's lunch, but Parmesan would be quite nice. I don't salt this dish because the veggie stock cube, especially the ones I get from Aldi, are super duper salty as it is. And so is the cheese, and so are the capers. So I don't salt it until the very end if I taste test and think it needs it. But yeah, here we go. How easy was that? Just a few simple steps. And as I said, I actually really enjoy this cold the next day. It's just personal preference, but it is really nice warm as well. So I really hope you enjoyed these 1 pan meals. There's going to be a part 2, 3 more meals that are coming soon. So if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up because it really does let me know that you enjoyed this type of content. And I will see you guys again really, really soon for the next one. Bye!